Welcome to Dr. Dispatch Tutorials. In today's video, we're going to quickly go over how easy it is to make Dr. Dispatch aware that you've taken an advance from a broker or a customer, and how to flow that through to QuickBooks, and so your receivables show only the amount due after the invoice or after the advance, and so on. Okay, let's just start, I guess, on this end with QuickBooks. There's not much to do in Dr. Dispatch. It's ready to go always for an advance. As I talk a lot, the item list is where we need to go. So list, item list, and we're going to probably need to make a new one. Right click and new, and let's just call this advance taken, for lack of better words. Now, one thing to note, a very important thing here, this is not a service line item, it is a payment. You're taking an advance from a broker, for example, on a load. When you get loaded, that's partial payment for the load. That's not a discount, that's not a service, you're not selling anything, you're taking money and prepaying an invoice that'll be due. So very important, it's the type of payment, any name you like. Advance taken works good for me. Now here's the secret here. And a deposit payment method, I a lot of times just leave this blank. Cash is fine because that's really what you're getting, but here's the secret. It has to go to undeposited funds, and it's the only thing that'll work, and that's why that's sorry about that. Group with other undeposited funds. Sorry about that. That's a built-in account in QuickBooks where, let me look at the item or the chart of accounts here. List, chart of accounts. You'll see undeposited funds can be tricky to find, but it's always there. It's called another current asset, and what that means is we're going to put that advance into undeposited funds. It's going to be up to you to move that deposit to the proper place. Let's face it, people take advances on loads. Good part of the time it all goes straight to the driver for the whole number for the fuel, but there are times when somebody keeps part of it, hands some off to the driver, buys lunch for the office. These things happen, and it's impossible for us to provide accounts and scenarios and line items to do all this stuff with. It's too complicated. So QuickBooks has undeposited funds just for that. So we've got a new line item of a type of payment set to group with other undeposited funds. You put this for cash if you want to, hit OK to save it. Now, we've got a new line item here, advance taken, type of payment, goes to undeposited funds. It's the only setup work you have to do, nothing else in Dr. Dispatch. Now, we do need to go to the QuickBooks setup and alert it to what's going on and what to do with an advance when it hits one. So setup, QuickBooks setup now, straight to manage accounts. Tracking your brokerage works the same, and what you're going to be looking for, remember, this is an unusual line item, it's a type of payment, so we've got to check that before we refresh. Now we're ready to refresh. Let it fill in the blanks for us. At a high rate of speed. There we go. Now, for the customer advance account, it's actually a line item, advance taken, or you can drop the list down and look and see that it's, let me delete that so it sees the full list. The only thing that's in the payment type, but that's the only account or a line item allowed here, is a line item of a payment type, is this one here. So we get that in there, we save it, done. Now we're ready to test it. Go ahead and go back to the home screen, go back to Dr. Dispatch, close the setup. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to use truck invoice for an example. Remember, brokerage is the same. We're going to use load 236 in here. First thing I want to do is make sure I put down an advance on the load. So I'm going to find load 236, enter. There's the load and there's the rate. I'm going to go into here and we'll go right here and tell it how much in advance we took. For example, $500. Then we'll go ahead and put that in there, hit OK. You wish to change the rate. Yes, didn't really change the rate, but oops, it's hit the button there again. But what you'll end up with is nothing more than an amount, period. That's all you have to do. It knows who your customer is and everything else. You'll notice this load's already factored and everything else as well. So we've taken it in advance by putting it in the rate screen. So we simply go to invoicing, truck invoicing, brokerage. Once again, works the same exact way. Load 236, process the invoice here, and the invoice is going to, in this case, reflect the advance taken off of the amount due, because that's the reality. And of course, if there was a fee, you'd put the whole total for the advance. What he's going to deduct would go in that slot on the rate screen. So you got your rate minus your advance, which is 2550 minus 500. You got your balance, and then print your invoice, email it, whatever, and there's your load. Nothing changed. Okay, we're going to export it to QuickBooks. Press the button, say OK. It'll go from blue to green, signifying it all went. We're going to just ignore the printout to save time. Yes, it printed properly. You're done as usual. Simple, simple, simple way to send data to QuickBooks. Now we'll go to QuickBooks and have a peek at what it did. That was an Ozark Jeep load. So 236 was our invoice. Double click it. Now there again, QuickBooks, and no big surprise here. You do have the advance taken using your new line item, and it's listed out here, so it does take the $500 off of the balance due. And hang on just a minute, let me go back over and find actually the easiest way, and I don't use this myself, but banking, make deposits. There's several ways you can look in your undeposited fund account by just clicking it, but you'll see here when you do banking at the top and make deposits, it always includes undeposited funds. So if it is just going straight to the bank and you got a com check number, that's fine, and you put it in the bank. If you're going to split that or move it to different accounts, then you have the ability to do that in the realm of all this depositing of the undeposited funds. It allows you to move it where you need it to be. Okay, that summarizes what we're doing today. As usual, thanks for stopping by. See you next video.